FM, dito tayo sa totoo.
25,000 watts ng totoong tunog ng FM radio.
Totoong pinalakas, totoong pinagtibay ng mga batikang mamamahayag sa paghahatid ng news,
Public service,
entertainment,
music,
information at inspiration para sa bawat kapatid, bawat Pilipino. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Mainit at makabuluhang talakayan tungkol sa sports, kumpleto yan dito sa Power and Play. Mula sa mga paborito at naglalakihang atleta hanggang sa mga natatanging Pinoy sports figures na dapat nyong makilala, ihahatid yan dito sa Power and Play.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino. Pilipino, yan ang Pinoy.
And the countdown continues para sa FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. Handa na ba tayo, Pilipinas? Pag-usapan po natin ngayong umagang ito. Di paano, bango na! Power and Play na! Power and Play with Noli, Eala. Isang magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat, mga kapatid. Nagmumula po sa TV5 Media Center dito sa 1PH Studios. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive. Chooks to go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. True religion, where passion meets power. And of course, we are powered by Smart. Live Smart. 6 na araw na lamang po, mga kapatid. Nako, 6 na araw na lamang bago magsimula ang FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 dito po sa ating bansa. At dahan-dahan na pong dumarating ang mga bituin ng basketball para sa pinakamalaking basketball event this year. Ang first time kung saan 3 bansa ang mag-host ng World Cup ng basketball. May 8 koponan na maglalaban-laban sa Okinawa, Japan. May 8 naman sa Jakarta, Indonesia at 16 dito po sa Manila, Philippines. And of course, yung po mga koponan na yan ay dahan-dahan na pong dumarating. Sa katunayan, kagabi ay dumating na po ang Montenegro. Yung pong koponan ng Montenegro kasama si Nikola Vucevic, isa sa pinakamahusay na NBA centers mula sa Chicago Bulls. Dumating na rin po ang koponan ng Mexico at ng Egypt. Samantala ngayong araw pong ito, inaasahang dadating po si Karl Anthony Towns kasama ng Dominican Republic at ang Greece. Although wala po si Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sa 22 po dadating na ang pinakahihintay ng marami, ang Team USA na pinangungunahan ng kanilang coach si Steve Kerr at ng assistant coach na Phil Am, si Eric Spoelstra. At makakasama po nila ang mga 4 pang koponan, New Zealand, Puerto Rico, Serbia at Italy. Samantalang ang huli pong mga darating ay ang koponan ng Lithuania kasama si Valanciunas, ang China with their naturalized player na si Kyle Anderson, South Sudan at Jordan. Kaya po mga kapatid, dahan-dahan na rin po tayong nag-check kung handa na ba talaga ang Pilipinas. Sa katunayan mga kapatid, ang Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ay nag-issue po ng isang order na. Sabi nga nila parang pagdating sa basketball talagang nakatutok ang lahat, no? Lalong-lalo na ito pong hosting natin ng FIBA Basketball World Cup. Sa August 25, ang opening po ng World Cup, nag-utos na po ang Malacanang na wala pong opisina, ang gobyerno, government offices lang po mga kapatid at wala pong klase sa pampublikong paaralan sa August 25 para po sa Metro Manila at sa probinsya po ng Bulacan. Ngayon, yung nasa private sector, nasa sa discretion na po yan ng inyong mga tanggapan, kasama na rin po ang private schools. Pero siguro naman kung hindi na tayo konektado naman dyan at hindi naman po tayo tatamaan nung expected po natin, nung inaasahan po nating traffic, pabayaan na natin ang private schools na magpatuloy. At best siguro, pwede hong online para sa mga bata, para naman hindi masyadong maantala. Pero again, wala pong klase ang public schools at wala pong opisina sa gobyerno sa opening ng FIBA World Cup sa Metro Manila at sa Bulacan. Nag-issue na rin po ang MMDA ng isang kautusan po na sila po ay magsisimulang magpa-implement nung tinatawag nilang intermittent stops para po pagbigyan ang mga delegado ng FIBA, lalong-lalo na po ang mga koponan na makarating sa kanilang playing venues o di kaya uuwi sa kanilang mga hotels. Mga lansangan po, key areas sa Metro Manila ay magkakaroon po ng mahigit 1,000 mga traffic enforcers ng MMDA para po siguraduhin maayos ang ating trapiko. Kasama na po dyan ang EDSA of course, ang Kalayaan Avenue, Jokno Boulevard, Rojas Boulevard, Andrews Avenue, Sales Road at iba pa pong dadaanan ng FIBA players and delegates. So, konti pong tiyaga mga kapatid, konti pong tiyaga. Alam niyo po, may mga nagsasabi, ba't naman ganyan? Masyado tayo maabala. Alam niyo ho, tayo'y host. At ang Pilipino po ay may katangian kahit papano na tayo po ay very hospitable sa ating mga bisita. Over the bakod naman yan. Yung iba, may mga nagsasabing ganyan, sobra-sobra naman yan. Tayo po ay matagal na naghintay para ipakita ang ating bansa. Sana po ay kahit papano tayo po ay magtulungan, magkaisa at magbuklod-buklod para po sa imahe na ating ipapakita sa buong mundo kung saan inaasahan po nating maraming mga dayuhan ang dadating po sa ating bansa para manood ng FIBA Basketball World Cup. Kaya po, konting pasyensya. Again, ang pangalan po ng bansa ang nakataya. Kaya po kahit papano tayo po ay magtulong-tulong. Ngayong umaga pong ito, dito po sa ating palatuntunan, ating pong tatalakayin ang paghahanda ng ating pong local organizing committee at mismong ang executive director ng FIBA World Cup, si David Crocker, ang ating pong makakausap mamaya para po ating malaman kung ano po ang assessment nila sa nalalapit na hosting ng Pilipinas. Mamaya rin po ating makakausap ang veteran sports analyst, the Dean, Quinito Henson, para naman ating kamustahin ang paghahanda ng Gilas Pilipinas. Kagabi, naglaro po ang Gilas sa isa sa 3 friendlies na iiwan sa kanilang schedule at sila po ay nagwagi kontra Ivory Coast. Kakamustahin po natin yan with Quinito Henson mamaya po. And in the spotlight, mamayang second hour natin mga kapatid, ating pong itatampok ang nagkampiyon sa World Series ng Junior League Softball, ang Bago City Softbelles na ang ating pong representante doon po sa World Series para sa Pilipinas at sa Asia Pacific region. Ating pong ilalagay sila in the spotlight mamaya. So marami po tayong pag-uusapan, marami din tayong premyong ipamimigay. Kaya tutok lang Handa na ba kayo? Ito na po ang ating Power and Play this Saturday. Simulan natin sa ating Sports Weekly Highlights.
Power and Play with Noli, Eala.
Nagsimula na ang mga serye ng closed-door tune-up games ng Pilipinas isang linggo bago ang pagbubukas ng FIBA World Cup. Ayon sa Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, gagawing basihan ang mga laro na yan sa pagpili ng Final 12 ng ating lineup. 16 ang manlalaro ngayon sa ating pool, kaya 4 ang hindi makakasama sa final lineup. Aminado si Coach Shot Reyes na mahirap magtanggal ng player. Inaasahan ng sa August 23 i-aanunsyo ang Final 12 ng Gilas Pilipinas. Balik bansa naman si dating Gilas Pilipinas Coach Rajko Toroman. Ayon sa mga report, gaganap bilang consultant ang Serbian coach para sa Converge Fiber Xers, maging sa collegiate squads na College of St. Benilde at Letran Knights. Welcome back, paring Coach Rajko Toroman. Sa FIFA Women's World Cup naman, All European ang finals. Magtatapat sa pinakahuling laro ng tournament ang England at Spain. Ito ang unang beses na nakapasok ng finals ang dalawang koponan, kaya kahit sinong manalo, may kokoronahang first-time World Cup champions. Speaking of champions, itinanghal na ang ilan sa mga paborito nating basketball legends sa Hall of Fame. Kasama dyan sina Dirk Nowitzki, Pau Gasol, Tony Parker, Dwayne Wade, Coach Greg Popovich at Becky Hammon. Ang grupong yan ang isa sa mga pinaka-stacked na Hall of Fame inductees. Nangunguna naman sa mga Hall of Fame candidates sa susunod na taon, si Vince Carter. At sa NBA naman, bigatin ang magiging opening night games para sa 2023-2024 season. Sisimulan ng Denver Nuggets ang kanilang title defense bid kontra Los Angeles Lakers sa October 25. Mangyayari rin ang tapatang Golden State Warriors versus the Phoenix Suns. At yan po ang buod ng ating mga balita ngayong linggo sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Of course, tinututukan din po natin ang ating kababayang si Alex Eala na last week nag-champion. Nag-champion yung ang ating tennis phenom doon po sa Roehampton. Nanalo siya sa W25 singles, kanyang pang-apat na championship. Ngayon pong linggong ito, lumalaban na naman siya sa Great Britain at siya po ay nasa doubles at semifinals. Kahapon nanalo siya sa singles. So again, pagdasal po natin ang ating kababayang si Alex Eala. But of course, ang lahat po ng tutok natin ngayon ay patungkol sa FIBA World Cup, kung saan finally nabuo na ang Gilas Pilipinas sa pagpasok ni Jordan Clarkson, ni Kai Soto, at ngayon si Scotty Thompson na magaling na po ang kamay at naglaro nga kagabi. 11 points si Scotty Thompson. I think 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So ang ganda ng ipinakita ni Scotty. Kaya po ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito ay patungkol sa FIBA World Cup. Ang pulso ng bayan, of course, hatid sa inyo ng M2 Tea Drink. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2 Tea Drinks. Ito po ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito. Sa parating na po na FIBA World Cup, anong expectation nyo sa Gilas Pilipinas? Ulitin ko po yan Anong expectation nyo sa Gilas sa FIBA World Cup? Ito pong pulso ng bayan, hatid sa inyo ng M2 Tea Drink with malunggay, okra, and luya. So sagutin lamang po ninyo sa ating Facebook page o di kaya sa aming Twitter account @Noli Eala, at kami po ay magbibigay ng mga M2 tea drinks sa ating mapipili sa kahuli-hulihan o sa kaduluduluhan ng ating palatuntunan. Alright, mga kapatid, isa pang announcement mula of course sa Joyride Super App. Tuloy-tuloy po ang pamimigay ng Joyride. 2 po ang premium pinamimigay. Ito po yung una, 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride para magamit nyo sa delivery, Joyride taxi, and of course yung motorcycle taxi. Ito po, download lamang yung latest Joyride Super App, kuhanan ng screenshot ng home screen kasama ng inyong pangalan, ipadala po yung screenshot sa aming Power and Play FB page via PM at isama nyo po yung buong pangalan at registered mobile number ng iyong Joyride account. Kami po ay mamimili ng 5 lucky winners at the end of the show. Isang announcement lang, hindi po kasali ang mga Joyride kasundo bikers. Sorry guys, ang dami pong nanonood sa atin mula sa Joyride. Medyo pabayaan nyo na ang ating mga customers sa Joyride ng manalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits. Isa pa pong premyo mula sa Joyride ang ating pamimigay, yung pong Joyride Aqua Flask, Limited Aqua Flask. Mga kapatid, yan po, makikita nyo yan. Tayo po ay mamimigay ng isa dyan. Simpleng-simple lang, mga kapatid. Pagkatapos nyo pong mag-download at mag-book ng inyong Joyride MC Taxi or Joyride Car service, kuhanan nyo po ng isang creative screenshot, creative selfie, yung pong inyong rider at kayo. At ipadala nyo po sa Facebook page ng Power and Play via PM. Doon po sa Power and Play with Noli, Eala FB page to confirm your entry. At ilagay nyo po yung hashtag of the week. At ito po ang hashtag of the week na ikakabit nyo doon sa ating sa inyong pong selfie. Ang hashtag of the week ay hashtag Joyride Power and Play. Yan po, hashtag of the week para manalo ng limited edition Joyride Aqua Flask. Last week, we had a winner at kami po yung mag-a-announce na nung kanya pong pangalan mamaya at the end of the show. Again, yan po mula sa Joyride Super App, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Alright mga kapatid, we're about ready to start ang ating huntahan dito po sa Power and Play. And of course, simulan natin sa ating paboritong Fast Take.
Power and Play with Noli, Eala.
At ang Fast Take kahatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive. And mga balik Fast Takers muli ang ating mga kasama, mga veteranong sports writers, sports analysts, at of course, mga tututok sa FIBA World Cup. Ang ating po mga kasama ngayon, walang iba kundi sila Paulo Del Rosario mula sa TV5 and of course si Luisa Morales. Kasama rin po natin ngayong araw pong ito. Magandang umaga, Luisa, and magandang umaga, Paulo.
Magandang umaga, Com. Always a pleasure being here. Luisa, nice seeing you as well. At syempre sa mga guest nyo backstage, Com, that we can see also. Hello to our friends there as well.
Good morning po, Com. Good morning, Paulo.
Good morning, Luisa. Uy, happy birthday pala sa iyong father, kay Daddy Cirilo. Nako, happy birthday, boss!
Thank you po, Com. Thank you so much.
Andito ang anak nyo. Hihiramin muna namin bago tayo kumain na mamayang tanghali. Saan pa tayo? Anyway, bago tayo magsimula sa ating Fast Take, ang dami tayong pag-usapan about FIBA World Cup. But let me ask first, Luisa, I was talking about Alex Eala kanina. And again, nanalo siya last week. Ngayon, lumalaban na naman si Alex. How much progress are you seeing? And do you think na talagang papunta na si Alex doon sa bigger tournaments?
I think definitely, Com. No? It's been a couple of good months for her. Since June, I think she's won two ITF titles. So, definitely a good run. Parang on a roll po siya. No? So, we'll see. She's qualified into the semis ng kanyang current tournament ngayon. So, we'll look out if meron tayong pangatlo in the last couple of months. No? But yeah, definitely nakikita natin ever since she turned 18, parang biglang nag-jump din yung game niya. So definitely a joy to watch and we'll see where she comes from here.
It's probably her maturity, of course, yung katawan niya nagbabago na rin, and of course ang kanya mga nakakatapat at yung experience niya is now coming to play. Pao, I know you will be very busy with the FIBA World Cup. I'm so excited. Nakita mo, naka-ready na yung t-shirt natin dito para sa FIBA World Cup and we're ready to go. But I know you will be going around. You will probably be doing a lot of interviews. If there is one player that you want to interview, Pao, sino yan? Sino yung player na gusto mong ma-interview?
Ang hirap nun, Com. Pero si Luka, I think would be the obvious one kasi ibang level of a talent siya. He seems like a fun interview rin. But the wishlist continues. Coach, lahat na nasa Team USA lineup roster, I think would be a fun interview as well. Pero it's going to be a basketball fan's dream, yung FIBA Basketball World Cup. Not just being able to be within touching distance with these players, with the opportunity sana to talk to these players. I cannot wait to see and experience what's going to happen in the next few weeks. Ko.
I can imagine how busy the two of you will be and the entire media organization dahil ika nga napakaraming pwedeng topics na puntahan, maraming angulo, maraming narrative, so it'll be a fun time for us also fans to be reading all of your work this coming maybe 15-20 days. Well, pag-uusapan natin of course sa Fast Take ngayong araw na ito, mga topics tungkol sa FIBA World Cup. So simulan na natin. Simpleng-simple lang. Alam nyo na yung drill. Walang tama, walang mali. Bato-bato sa langit. Tamaan, wag magagalit. And of course, ang opinion nyo lamang ang mahalaga. We'll start with our first Fast Take issue of the morning. 1 minute to answer. At ito ang ating katanungan. Ang unang issue, bukod kay Jordan Clarkson para sa Gilas Pilipinas, sinong inaasahan ninyong magbubuhat ng opensa para sa ating national team? I'll begin with you, Luisa. 1 minute. Go!
Of course, lahat naman talaga will be a team effort, no? Especially in a tournament as big as the FIBA World Cup. Pero syempre may mga pangalan na nagsa-stand out, no? Isa na rito ang multi-time PBA MVP Junmar Fajardo, no? It will be a big ask para mag-contribute sa front court natin, especially since marami tayong kakalaban na mas malalaki sa atin. No? We're used to being the small guys in a competition. Pero we've seen naman time and time again si Junmar na nakakapag-impact ng laro with both his scoring and rebounding. And syempre, isa na rin sa mga matagal nating inintay, no? Si Kai Soto, that he finally was able to suit up for Gilas. While siguro he won't have too much eye-popping numbers, tingin ko po his performance will be a good barometer kung ano yung magiging overall chances ng Gilas. And then with the front court side, sa tingin ko magiging malaki pong impact ng returning point guard na Scottie Thompson. No? Magiging key siya sa opensa natin bilang isang playmaker and facilitator. Kahit hindi man siya ang nakakascore ng marami, but he will definitely be a big impact.
Ako, na-excite na ako, Luisa, ng mga sinasabi mo. Ang lalaking pangalan nito. Pao, same question. Bukod kay JC, sinong inaasahan mong magbubuhat ng opensa para sa Gilas Pilipinas? 1 minute, Pao. Go!
I want to say, I think Luisa did the right thing in mentioning Junmar Fajardo. Some people forget that Junmar Fajardo can actually score sa international level. In fact, sa friendly natin against Ivory Coast, he did score 13 points in only 12 minutes. How can you do that? Mahirap po yun. You take a look at other guys like Scottie Thompson who can produce without necessarily scoring, pero he did it against Ivory Coast last time around. Looks like his shooting hand is okay. But if you take a look at yung mga field goal attempts that we're probably going to see, Dwight Ramos is probably going to be up there and CJ Perez as well. Itong si Dwight Ramos, nakita natin against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia when Jordan Clarkson was playing for us. Jordan Clarkson trusts the shot of a Dwight Ramos. But fortunately or unfortunately, that might mean na masa-scout siya. Let's go to a guy that has a hard time being stopped, and that's CJ Perez, in the sense na he is the guard that will probably apply the most pressure on the rim para sa Gilas Pilipinas. Someone who's a bit different, has an inside-out game. And si CJ Perez, alam naman natin, walang takot talaga. We saw it in 2019, we'll see it this year.
Well, CJ Perez is also one of the finest players that the PBA has produced. That, alam niyo yung limang binigay niyong pangalan, parang sinasabi niyong shoe-in na to sa final lineup. Kaya naniniwala ako sa iyo. Mga tip yan. Alam ko may mga naririnig na kayo. Kaya naniniwala kami. Mamaya pag-usapan namin ni Quinito yung final lineup na yan. But ako, 2 players na maaaring hindi pa makasama. AJ Edu. I really think that this guy will come out to play well in this particular FIBA World Cup. At hopefully, si Renz Abando. Kailangan natin ng shooter. We need a guy who can be like a Larry Fonacier or even an Alan Kaidik. Somebody who can light it up from the outside para malibre si Jordan Clarkson. Hopefully, itong mga players natin at lahat na ay gumawa ng puntos para nga ang Gilas Pilipinas ay makaangat sa FIBA World Cup. Alright, second issue of the morning. It's still about the FIBA World Cup. Pero lumipat tayo outside of the Gilas Pilipinas squad. Ito ang tanong, pang-gold medal ba ang Team USA squad sa FIBA World Cup? Alam naman natin, wala dyan yung pinakamalalaking pangalan. But this is a team that has shown in their friendlies that they can play. Pao, 1 minute, go!
Yeah, Team USA will always be one of the most dangerous teams in the tournament regardless of yung level of talent in the sense that, okay, wala yung mga star players. Wala si LeBron, wala si Steph Curry, but still, this is a gold medal contending team. Alam naman natin na in 2019, 7th place lang yung Team USA despite having the likes of a Donovan Mitchell on the team. Pero this is a young group, a young competitive athletic group that fits well together. Nakita natin sa mga friendlies nila very recently that even if they've only had a couple of weeks together, yung talent level nila at yung fit nila in terms of yung natural games have fit in a good way. They have ways that they can stop the inside presence with their reserve big na si Walker Kessler. They have ways to attack different positions with si Anthony Edwards. There's just so much talent even though this is not the, I would say, highest tier star level ng NBA players that they could bring. But iba talaga yung talent level ng Team USA.
Alright, well, I guess you're saying yes, na talagang pang-gold medal pa rin itong Team USA despite the lack of the Class A or the A team. Alright, Luisa, same issue. Pang-gold medal ba ang Team USA sa FIBA World Cup? 1 minute, Luisa. Go!
Siguro kung on a glance, no, it's not that impressive. You would say, no, yung mga players nila. Kasi nga naman po, marami pong big names na wala. Katulad niya, what Paolo said, wala tayong LeBron James, walang Steph Curry, walang Damian Lillard or whatnot. Pero siguro kailangan natin tandaan, puro NBA players, parang itong mga dadating sa Pilipinas in a couple of days. Kumbaga, they're still the best of the best. Cream of the crop para mapunta ka sa liga na kasing taas ng NBA, no? So, and I think malaki din po yung magiging role ng coaching staff. You have a top caliber coaching staff there with Steve Kerr and our very own Eric Spoelstra, no? They also have players who have star power like Anthony Edwards and then sila Cam Johnson and Brandon Ingram among others. So, we know yung mga players na to, they're strong contenders. They are very competitive. Definitely kumbaga magiging, pa rin sila, one of the favorites, I would say. But definitely defending champion Spain and sama na rin natin ang Pilipinas, no, ay makikipag-compete ng maigi sa kanila for that trophy.
Ang sarap nung sinabi mo yun, Luisa. Naku, sana magdilang anghel ka na umabot tayo sa ganyan. Ako, siguradong puputok ang lahat ng venue. Baka kukulangin ng Philippine Arena. But ako, I agree with you. No matter what we say, NBA pa rin yan. At yan ay 12 NBA players, no? Of course, ang FIBA themselves had doubts about the Team USA. Hindi sila nilagay sa top 1 nung start ng power rankings ng FIBA. But now, they are number 1. Ako, I had my doubts. But when I started seeing them in their friendlies, this team is still so talented. But at the end of the day, I think may mga gigit-git sa kanila. It's still the pride of a country. And alam natin na kahit walang pinakamalalaking stars din ng Spain, na wala na, tumanda na lahat, I think they'll still be out there. France will be out there. Australia will be out there. And of course, Team Canada, ang dark horse of this tournament. All right, let's go to our final issue of the morning. It's not about Gilas, but it is about a guy who was the face of Gilas Pilipinas. Ito ang tanong, sa tingin nyo ba may tsansang umangat at maging head coach ng NBA si Mighty Mouse, Jimmy Alapag, na ngayon ay player development coach ng Sacramento Kings? 1 minute, Luisa. Go!
It's a firm, of course, po, for me, Com. So we already saw kung paano yung naging progression ni Coach Jimmy with his NBA coaching career. No? He earned his chances muna sa Summer League and then he went to the G League and ayun na nga, nasa Sacramento Kings na siya mismo ngayon. So maganda yung naging development niya in the past couple of years. No? It's not even been that long since he went and pursued this dream, no? So we know naman si Coach Eric Spoelstra, one of the longest tenured active coaches po ngayon sa NBA. Hindi naman naging ganyan po kabilis yung development at pag-grow niya bilang isang NBA coach sa career niya, no? So we don't have anything naman to say na hindi kaya ito gawin ng ating Mighty Mouse, no? So Coach Jimmy has been proving himself naman time and time again with his teams. Of course, they want him around. They've seen him develop. So binibigyan din siya ng mga chances, no? So I think it's not a matter of if, pero when na lang po na magiging head coach ang ating very own Jimmy Alapag.
Wow, nako, maganda yan. Talagang full-blooded Pinoy. Pao, same question. Sa tingin mo ba may chance ang maging head coach ng NBA si Jimmy Alapag? 1
Com,
minute,
I
Pao,
don't-
go.
I don't think it's a question na may chance siya. I think the biggest question is kung anong route yung take niya. Would he stay with the Sacramento Kings organization? Hopefully work up the range in terms of developmental coach, and maybe it's a G League affiliate nila, maybe being assistant coach first. That's always an option para kay Jimmy. Another option obviously is coaching sa college level muna, impressing there, and then earning more spots in the future. And you never know kung ano yung mga opportunity will come out for Jimmy Alapag. Like what Luisa mentioned, we need to be patient with the process. Very few coaches are hired very, very young. And si Coach Jimmy is paying his dues. Coach Jimmy is going the route of an Eric Spoelstra, as Luisa mentioned. And I feel na the opportunity will be there, and he has been patient. And us fans have to be patient also for the process, and hopefully yung ending nun, head coach si Jimmy Alapag sa NBA.
Excellent point. Alam mo, yun, patience. Talagang everybody's got to be patient, especially Coach Jimmy. But knowing him, kilala natin si Jimmy, his personality, he's very likable, madaling makasama, he listens, he's a good follower. He didn't start as a star. Remember, this is a guy that was picked up 10th overall back in my time. And talagang umangat na lamang. Just a great opportunity for him to go up, and hopefully nga, with all our prayers, I mean, this is family's prayers, siya ay maging NBA head coach. But what tickles me more is the opportunity, if ever he gets there, to become a Gilas Pilipinas head coach of the future. Can you imagine? Si Jimmy Alapag, the face of Gilas back in 2014, can be one day head coach ng ating national team. Sana nga ay matupad ang ating pangarap. Pao, Luisa, as always, just a riveting discussion. Maraming salamat for joining us this morning, and good luck sa FIBA World Cup. Pagkita-kita tayo, and let's enjoy the games. Thank you so much.
Salamat, Com. Good
Thank you,
morning.
Com. Good morning.
Mga kaibigan, Pao Del Rosario and Luisa Morales, the Power and Play Fast Take. Again, just a lot of narratives that will be coming out from them. Abangan nyo po, si Pao will be obviously on TV covering a lot of the games, and so, of course si Luisa, yung kanyang writing sa Philippine Star, and abangan po natin yan. Yan pong kanilang mga ilalabas. Alright, bago tayo mag-break, isa muna pong paalala mula sa ating mga kaibigan mula sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Pro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live smart. When we return, we will have the FIBA Executive Director for the World Cup, David Crocker, live from Jakarta, Indonesia. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go, at ng True Religion. Ang oras po natin, 8:35 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by M2 Tea Drink. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2 Tea Drink.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple. Smart ako.
Sherry.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to go delivery hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Totoo sa paghahatid ng balita, impormasyon, serbisyo. Totoo sa'yo. 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
May namiss ka bang mga shoot, pasa at hiyawan? Ngayon, hindi na! Dahil araw-araw mo nang mapapanood ang mga paborito mong sports program sa TV. Watch us on these channels. Free TV Channel 41, Signal TV Channel 6, Sky Cable Channel 59. One Sports! Ito ang go-to tambayan for your favorite sports programs. Dito ka na sa paboritong tambayan mo pagdating sa sports.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
It's time to discover the new stars of the PBA. Magpapakitang gilas ang malalakas. Susugod na ang matitikas. Huwag palagpasin ang sagupan. Tuloy ang laro. Tuloy ang laban. Game tayo dito sa PBA On Tour. Live on One Sports at PBA Rush.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Mga ngawit ang panganyo sa katatawa dahil ang kombinasyon ng gulat at sorpresa nandito na. Doble-doble ang saya. Doble-doble ang kwela. Abangan si Wally Bayola at Jose Manalo sa
Good jokes never go old. Kaya naman tuloy ang good times sa
Wow, Mali! Doble tama. Malapit na dito sa TV5.
Broadcasting from the Radyo 5 studios in Reliance Street, Mandaluyong City, in Mega Manila. 25,000 watts of true broadcast quality. Mas pinalakas, mas pinalawak, mas pinalinaw na tunog ng AM sa FM. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Power and play with Noli, Eala.
Kaimbag na bigat kada kayo amin sa lahat po ng ating mga nanonood sa Vegan City and of course sa San Esteban, Ilocos Sur. Magandang umaga din po sa lahat ng ating mga suki sa San Pablo City at sa Los Baños, Laguna. Alright mga kapatid, at this point, we are very fortunate to have with us a very, very busy man. A guy who has been traveling all over the world just to make sure that the upcoming FIBA Basketball World Cup will be a success. And he has very nicely granted us this interview today, and he is coming live from Jakarta, Indonesia. No other than the executive director of the FIBA Basketball World Cup, Mr. David Crocker. Good morning, David. Good morning.
Good morning, Noli. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good morning from Jakarta.
Great. Thank you so much for making this time for us, for the Filipino fans. Before I talk about the Philippines, how is Jakarta? How is the bus there? How is the mood in Jakarta, Indonesia?
Look, you really know there's a World Cup coming in here into Jakarta around the GBK facility. There's so much branding, the star player branding, the logo, and coming into the venue every morning, you just feel so excited. 6 days until we tip off, and the dressing of the venue's happening, the floors are being laid down, the backboards are coming up. You're really starting to feel that this is becoming very, very real, very soon.
And all of this, despite the fact that the host country, of course, is not going to be playing, still basketball is so alive in all over the world. Now, let me ask you, back in April, FIBA released a statement saying that they were so impressed by the preparations, particularly in the Philippines. And I quote, you said, progress is really pleasing. David, how ready is Manila for the FIBA World Cup?
Well, it was probably 10 days ago, my last visit, to come and have some conversations and make sure we're on track. And we've already, since that 10 days' time, we've had the first team arrive. And it was proved that the operational team there in Manila was ready. Exceptionally smooth arrival, transition from the airport to the hotel for Montenegro, and some very, very positive feedback. So operationally, very, very good performance and ready for that very first team, and they'll all start flowing in over the next few days. So the team is ready.
What is the best part so far with Manila hosting? What have you seen? What is the strength of the local organizing committee here in the Philippines?
I think one of the real strong bases is this whole of government support. So all of the departments who have been meeting regularly, the heads of departments coming together with the SBP and the organising committee to understand what are the pressure points, where can government help and support and make things work. And I think that has made a huge difference. And you can see some of the decisions around limiting trucks, some school closures to help set a record on 25 August out there at Philippine Arena. So, that whole of government approach and integration with the SVP to deliver this, that's an incredibly powerful base to work from.
And again, the credit has to go to, of course, the Philippine Sports Commission, of course, to the Office of the President, and of course, all of the agencies that are working at the moment. But again, when you were here a couple of months back, again, one of the concerns was traffic. Does that remain as a concern for you, David, and for the for FIBA right now in terms of how things will operate as we come closer to the games?
Well, Noli, I have done several runs from Philippine Arena in a bus back to the players' hotel to try and really grasp what the challenges are. And one of the things about having these world-class athletes transporting out to the playing venues is being able to do this in comfort and with speed, so that they can be ready to perform when they get to the venue. So we've had some pretty big travel times, some pretty challenging travel times, but last night there was another test done, and the Deputy Executive Director, Erica D, sent me a screenshot last night of 45 minutes and 59 seconds.
Wow.
The photo of Philippine Arena in the background, so that brought a big smile to my face, knowing again that with PMP support, with the local officers on the ground. They've been able to clear the lanes to be able to make this possible. And why this is really important is a couple of factors. As I said earlier, we want athletes to be able to arrive there and perform. But now you've got this opportunity for all these star players who have really large social media following all around the world, for them to be able to share some Instagrammable moments and talk about how well organised and how great Manila is and the Philippines is.
Right.
And, we've seen in the past where there's been some bad experiences, not in Manila, I will say. We haven't had that, but in other countries where players have taken a wrong turn on the team bus, or it's been stopped in traffic for no good reason. And then some of the tweets start to say, I can't believe they can't organise this, or they can't do that.
Yeah.
So this is why we've had so much focus. Every day there'll be at least 10,000 different transactions which have to be delivered near perfectly to make sure the fans and the athletes and all the VIPs which are coming have this amazing experience and tell the world about how open and how ready the Philippines is to welcome people to this beautiful country.
Well, our local officials, of course, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authorities, has come up with a memo, again, instructing all motorists that there will be intermittent stops to give way to the delegates. So that's really great news, as you say, the whole of government approach. When I was chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission a few months ago, we started preparations for this, particularly of the venues for practices. I know that you are using the PSC venues, Phil Sports Arena, as well as the Ninoy Aquino. How are the venues for the practices, David?
Well, we set them up fundamentally the same as what they're going to play out in the main arena. So same backboards, same floors, same scoring equipment. So again, there's a transformation of what people might go in there and play hoops during the midweek, to provide an environment which will be at a world-class level for these best in the world athletes to train on. So there's quite a transformation in these venues.
Yeah, I know. There was a joke. I was joking all my people then that the roofing, the entrance to the court was so low that if Marjanovic comes in, he probably will hit his neck there. So I'm sure that they made some adjustments. David, how much hand-holding has FIBA done with our local organizing committee here?
Well, I would say hand-holding as far as walking along a path together. And it's the same with all three hosts who, I must say, who've had an amazing collaboration together.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday we had our last tripartite meeting with all three hosts, as they have done monthly for the last 3 years, coming together, sharing their experiences, some of their challenges, what are they doing about it. So we've had amazing collaboration amongst all three, but we're genuinely partnering with each of the hosts, because each of the hosts, and again here in the Philippines, deliver so much basketball, had experience delivering Olympic qualifying tournaments in the past. And so we have this great operational base, and what we like to then bring is another international layer, another international perspective, because we want the fans who come to the games not to think they're just coming to another basketball game. They're coming to the World Cup. So this is going to be elevated to a whole nother level never seen here before in the Philippines or the other two host nations. So it's genuinely a hand-holding together as we learn about local conditions, local environment, and we share our experiences from an international scene. So, you have very, very capable people here to deliver this event. Very, very open, great transparency between us all. So, it's actually the job when sold to me by my chief executive was that I was to be the conductor of the orchestra and make these three bands play well together. But seriously, I've had fantastic musicians in each three countries to be able to make this music.
Well, we're beginning to hear the harmony. We're beginning to hear the melody, and the orchestra is going to start playing us very, very soon. David, this three-nation arrangement that FIBA has implemented for this particular 2023 World Cup is the first time that it's being done, and you've talked about the synergy, the meetings that go around this model. Is this model going to be something that the FIBA might follow in the future? Is this something that the FIBA is leaning towards?
Look, at a continental level, particularly in Europe, we've been able to do this previously. Excuse me. So it is a model that can work. I believe that the model has worked well for us, and mainly because of the collaboration between the three hosts. Our next host in 2027, Qatar, is a different model again. One city, which will have venues operating all day, and you can travel from one venue to the other quite easily. So again, we just remain quite open and quite agile to what the opportunity is. We want to provide a great experience for fans, a great experience for players. So we're really quite open. We're not stuck in a model. You have to really move with what's on the table and what's going to offer the best opportunity for all the parties.
I understand that there will be many of the countries that are coming over. The FIBA will have a General Assembly. I was part of the World Cup in 2010 when I was executive director of the SBP, and I saw what it looked like. The kind of hospitality as well that the FIBA gives out to a lot of the delegates. What is on top of the agenda of the General Assembly, David, for this particular meeting in Manila?
Well, yeah, we're going to have about 400 delegates from all around the world.
Wow.
Who will be here for the Congress, and led by President Haman Niang from Mali and Secretary General Zaglis. So one of the big pieces is the changing of the guard. And one of the unique features of the FIBA governance model is that every 4 years, a new president is elected by the membership. But it's also a rotation between the continental operations of FIBA. So Mr. Niang from Africa and Mali has served 4 years as the president. Now we will rotate towards Asia, and there is one candidate to be elected president. So that should go fairly well, you would think. And Sheikh Sayud from Qatar would be elected as president of FIBA coming up. And then the election of the central board of FIBA and the executive of FIBA. So that will all happen. That's the biggest agenda item during this World Cup Congress coming up very, very soon.
Well, of course, the Philippines has people in the board, and we're just very proud of, of course, Mr. Pangilinan and Mr. Panlilio, who have driven, of course, the hosting chores for the Philippines. And talking about that, there is a larger audience, of course, to be served by the FIBA World Cup outside of Manila, of Okinawa, as well as Jakarta. How has FIBA and the SBP made it more accessible to the worldwide audience? How are you preparing for this? What are the digital platforms, David?
There is so many platforms. I should just say in our traditional broadcast format, 190 territories will take broadcasts of this World Cup. So it's a significant base for us to work from. Of course, our partner here in the Philippines, Signal, is doing a fantastic job to help us tell the story all across the country and bring fans to watch it on Signal. Our social media channels have been remarkable over the last 3 years. Already we're 55% above our 2019 totals. Wow. As far as people engaging, as far as video views. So the social media platforms to grab the news is really working well for us. Of course, traditional platforms, whether it be our Instagram or Facebook, etc. The other one, of course, for fans, if they want to follow, is going to be our app, the FIBA World Cup, FIBA Basketball World Cup 23 app, which has results of all the games, has the next games coming up, will capture the news from around the world. So people should download this app so they've got a really great connection to all the results as they're happening. And as I say, you can see the results and what's happening up in the next rounds.
We know that this is going to be played in the time zone of Asia, which is, if you go to the other part of the world, that is quite early, perhaps in the Americas as well as in Europe. How does this affect viewership, you think, David?
Look, it's going to be interesting. The US ESPN has agreed to take all 92 games of the World Cup and show it on that platform. So any time of the day, you should be able to connect and watch a game there in the US. And again, in Europe, there's such passionate fans, much like what you see here in the Philippines. People will connect, and we have, again, some really big TV broadcasters through Europe who are taking the live feed. So we're pretty confident we will have some great results and some big audiences in those markets.
We're seeing some teams not bringing their A players, of course, their top players. We're missing some of them. But, of course, we're still seeing a bulk of the NBA players coming over, as well as the best players all over the world. Some are saying that, the change of the schedule of the World Cup being too close to the Olympics may have been a factor. Is this a concern for FIBA?
Look, it is a new calendar, which is the second iteration, the second generation of it. And the plan, of course, is to give athletes a summer off by moving this World Cup back 1 year, and also to give us our own space in the sports market, away from the Football World Cup and away from the Olympics. So this is the best fit. Look, it's we're still going to have more NBA athletes than we had in any other World Cup, and we have a lot more of the emerging names coming through. So teams are selecting the best available athletes, which is what we hope for at a World Cup. I think the interesting thing is that, tournament play is such an interesting format when it comes down to who's going to find their way through out of the 32 down to play off for the Naismith Trophy. I'd like to, bring back in my own memory, and I share a memory with Coach Baldwin here of 2004 of the Tall Blacks, where Tab was head coach of the New Zealand national team. I was the CEO of the national team.
Right.
And the Tall Blacks, of course, made their way through to the Final Four, ending up fourth at a World Cup, which is a remarkable result of the athletes and Tab. And it really showed to me from that time, you don't need any NBA athletes. You don't need anything else except belief to play the corny one game at a time.
Yeah.
And to win your way through in tournament play, you need other results as well. So tournament play is something quite remarkable. You never know what's going to pop out at the end, and to know that Spain is the current world champion, that you've got the silver medalists from the Olympics, France, coming back with a very strong team, and Canada also preparing well. You just don't know who's going to come through at this last group and take home the Naismith Trophy.
Well, you mentioned Tab Baldwin, of course. He's now one of the regular fixtures in the basketball scene in the Philippines, of course, in the collegiate ranks, and he was a former Gilas Pilipinas mentor, so he certainly is a guy that we respect. David, I know that you're very busy, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let me just go to the final question here. One of my few questions left. The Philippines made a pitch back in 2017, and we were awarded the FIBA World Cup for this year. Has the SBP lived up to the expectations of FIBA when they awarded back in 2017?
Well, the theme of the presentation was play louder as three. So the three of them coming together. And right now, I'm very confident that is going to happen. I believe that they've actually gone above and beyond the initial bid as far as commitments that they have made, both as an investment into the delivery of the game. And I think, when we do the summaries and we look back and we say, what was the promise and what was the delivery, I'm very confident that it's going to be above and beyond what the initial promise was in 2017. And it's the amazing team at the LOC and SBP with amazing support of Al and MVP to make this work. And I'm feeling pretty confident with 6 days to go before we throw the ball up and set that world record out there at Philippine Arena.
Yes. Well, I guess that's my final question, David. At the end of the day, it'll be the fans, the Filipino fans, which FIBA has called the greatest fans in the world. We were awarded that back in another World Cup. So your message to the Filipino fans, 6 days to go before the FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Well, it's time to get the tickets. It's time to come. I know a lot of people have been concerned about that traffic issue going out to Philippine Arena. We've had the traffic engineers working on it. We've got great collaboration with Philippine Arena about how we can get people home in a cohesive and timely manner. So I think that challenge is over. Come out and be a part of that. You have to be a part of history. If you're a true basketball fan, you have to come out and be a part of history and see the biggest crowd ever and see your home team play at home for a World Cup. It's a once-in-a-lifetime moment. But don't forget, there is so many other games. It is not just Gilas. It's not just the US. There are some incredible teams who not all the fans will know. But you need to do a little bit more research. You need to come out and see, because these are the best in their countries coming out to represent their country. And nothing will bring out the pride more than wearing their national flag over their heart and hearing the national anthem. So it's time to show that you really are the best fans in the world and come out and be a part of it.
Well, we are hoping, and of course we know Filipino basketball fans are also the smartest in the world, so they will come out and support all of the games of the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Mr. David Crocker, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We wish you all the best. I will see you in the opening game, and I look forward to watching all of the games of the World Cup. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Mga kaibigan, ang Executive Director ng FIBA Basketball World Cup for 2023, Mr. David Crocker, live from Jakarta, Indonesia. Just an exciting time. Again, sabi nga niya, kasaysayan po ang ating gagawin. Lalo-lalo na sa opening day. Pero hindi po lamang yung opening day. Marami pa pong laro. When you check out all the games, ang dami pa po na pwede nating pagpilian. Konting ipon ng konti at makapanood tayo. Dahil ito po ay again, tayo po ang susuporta dito sa mga larong ito. Alright, at this point, bago tayo mag-break, silipin muna natin ang mundo ng palakasan sa viral videos at pop culture sa Stop and Pop.
Power and Play with Noli, Eala.
Ang title po ng video natin ngayong araw pong ito ay Walang Ala-alaga. Tingnan natin nga ito. Kita nyo, dito po sa video ito, makikita nyo na ang nagbabantay dun sa player ay sarili niyang alaga. Yung aso po niya, naglalaro ng depensa laban sa kanyang amo. Man-to-man defense, dog-to-man defense ang peg. Yan nga lang, walang panama ang man's best friend dahil madaling nalampasan at idinakdak sa mukha niya. In your dog face, ika nga. At yan po ang ating Stop and Pop. Sa ating pagbabalik, patuloy ang ating paghimay ng FIBA World Cup. Analysis with the Dean, Quinito Henson. And of course, in the spotlight, ang Bago City Softbelles World Series Champions sa pagbabalik ng Power and Play. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go, at ng True Religion. Ang oras po natin, 9:05 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by M2 Tea Drinks with malunggay, okra, and luya. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2 Tea Drinks.
I dare to dream big. To be a voice of my generation. To inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple. Smart ako.
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Team Ambida, ready na for round 2.
Narinig mo yun asawa ko? Enzo?
Aba, may bagong manggugulo.
Oh my God! Ganit! Oh my Nosy!
Paano kaya haharapin ng pamilyang palaban ng bagong hamon ng buhay? Kaya wag nang papahuli dahil Team A may round 2 na. Kasama ang mas masaya at mas malaking pamilya ng Team A. Round 2 tuwing Sabado 5:15 p.m. dito sa TV5. Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
25,000 watts ng totoong tunog ng FM radio.
Totoong pinalakas, totoong pinagtibay ng mga batikang mamamahayag sa paghahatid ng news,
Public service,
entertainment,
music,
information at inspiration para sa bawat kapatid, bawat Pilipino. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Power and play with Noli, Eala.
Muli po nagbabalik ang Power and Play at bago po natin ipagpatuloy ang ating show, isa muna pong shoutout at pasasalamat sa lahat po ng mga tagapagtaguyod ng mahigit 6 na taon na po ng Power and Play. Maraming salamat po of course sa Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan, kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom, tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum.
Thank you!
Cherry Tiggo 5X Pro Hybrid. Elevate your driving experience with the all-new Cherry Tiggo 5X Pro Hybrid, where sustainability meets functionality. Get ready to embark on a journey of fuel efficiency and power like never before. Imagine cruising down the road with the impressive 1.5 turbocharged engine paired with a cutting-edge 48-volt hybrid system. This dynamic duo not only delivers exhilarating performance but also slashes fuel consumption effectively, making each mile a step towards a greener planet. The all-new Cherry Tiggo 5X Pro Hybrid is also equipped with a 10.25-inch capacitive touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, full LED headlights, and double-row daytime running lights for improved road visibility. Auto trunk release, 6 supplemental restraint system, airbags, and a quiet cabin for more peaceful Cherry drives. To learn more about the all-new Cherry Tiggo 5X Pro Hybrid, visit Cherry Auto Philippines Visit website at www.cherryauto.ph or visit your nearest Cherry dealership.
Thank you!
Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Subukan ang kanilang pinakabagong oven-roasted chicken na mas pinasarap dahil sa nag-uumapaw na flavorful chicken juice. Try their variants harissa roast, sweet roast, at pepper roast. Subukan din ang Chooks, the first dine-in restaurant ng Chooks to Go. Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan.
Thank you!
True Religion is in the Philippines where passion meets power. Experience it firsthand. For your best style choices, visit True Religion at Conrades Maison, Mall of Asia Complex, Resorts World Manila, and Hacienda Designer Outlet, Ilang, Cavite. Visit their newest branch at Grand Wing, Newport City, Resorts World Manila. True Religion, where passion meets power.
Thank you!
Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Mga kasundo, first booking nyo, use promo code JRMC Taxi, 50% off on your first MC Taxi ride. Book Joyride MC Taxi for safe, affordable, quality, and fast rides. Ano pa ang hinihintay nyo? Download the Joyride Super App on Google Play Store and the App Store. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo.
Thank you!
Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group, located at Unit 2, Ground Floor, Calle Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Elms Seafood Paluto.
Thank you!
Skin, your face and body anti-aging center. With branches at Alabang Town Center and Green Hills, San Juan. For your skin assessment and treatment schedule, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886.
Thank you!
ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. ASEA Subic Beach Resort.
Thank you!
M2 Tea Drink with malunggay, okra, and luya. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2 Tea Drink with malunggay, okra, and luya. Your natural source of electrolytes.
Thank you!
And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart.
Thank you!
Maraming salamat po. At ngayon po mga kapatid, syempre kanina nakausap natin si Mr. David Crocker para pag-usapan yung organizational side. Ngayon naman pag-usapan natin ang Gilas Pilipinas at ang ating paghahanda para sa FIBA Basketball World Cup with 6 days to go. At sino pang mas magandang makausap niya kung hindi ang mismong nakatutok sa ating kuponan, the Dean and veteran sports analyst, Quinito Henson. Magandang umaga, Kinits.
Magandang umaga, Noli. Magandang umaga sa lahat ng mga nakatutok sa Power and Play. Ito, ready na tayo. Pati yung Gilas Pilipinas hoodie ko, suot ko na.
Ako naka-t-shirt na ako, Kinito. Kaya medyo ready na rin tayo dito. Kaya excited na tayo. But of course, let's begin a little bit, Kinito. Dito sa mga nangyayari. This is our third straight World Cup, Kinits, no? Naglaro tayo in 2014, which is a historic one after missing out for so long. Then bumalik tayo nung 2019 and then now 2023. Kinits, when you look at it, gaano kaiba yung mga versions ng mga teams natin and the programs that went along with it?
Well, only 2 players have been held over since 2014, si Japet at saka si Junmar. You remember that in 2014, that was the first World Cup ng Pilipinas in 36 years. Tapos nung tinalo natin ang Senegal in that particular competition, that was the first victory of the Philippines in the World Cup in 40 years.
Wow.
Pero nung 2019, nung lumahok tayo sa China, wala tayong pinanalo doon. So we were 0 out of 5 games in that competition. So now we're hoping that in this edition, we are able to pick up 1, 2, I don't know, maybe 3 games, go to the second round. But yung hinahanap natin dito, not so much for us to make it to the knockout stage, which is the quarterfinals of FIBA World Cup, but to be the highest finishing Asian placer. Because that means we will go to the Tokyo Olympics.
Alright,
Paris Olympics.
Pag-usapan natin mamaya yan. But, recently, nabuo na finally ang ating kupunan. Dumating si Jordan Clarkson, na clear na si Kai Soto, at ngayon, mukhang naghilom na ang kamay ni Scottie Thompson as he has already played his latest game kagabi, no? But again, this is barely in a week's time bago dumating ang opening ng World Cup. Should the fans be concerned, Quinito, na ngayon pa lamang medyo nagkakaamuyan itong mga players o nabuo ang team? Should we be concerned?
Well, it is a cause of concern because kukonti nga yung preparation time nito, no? In fact, I was just talking with Ramon Fernandez and Francis Arnaiz, two basketball legends ng Pilipinas who played in the 1974 FIBA World Cup in Puerto Rico. That was the last Philippine team in the FIBA World Cup that won more than one game. Okay? And sabi nila, they prepared for a year for that competition. Can you imagine? And they came home with 2 wins. Ngayon, kukunti na ang preparation natin. But of course, the level of competition, the quality of players, very different now. And with Jordan Clarkson, kahapon, naglaro ang Gilas against Ivory Coast. Clarkson played the entire first half, 4 minutes in the third quarter, tapos hindi na naglaro in the fourth quarter. So you can see that he's just trying to get his legs back. Kai Soto played also his minutes. Coach Chotres is making sure that all these guys are in good condition for when the games roll out. But importante that they are able to get their minutes dito sa mga tune-ups natin.
Right.
Forget about kulang sa preparation. The game's at hand. The World Cup is coming, so we've just got to be ready. There's no two ways about it. And I think we've got the tune-up against Montenegro on Sunday, another one against Mexico on Monday.
Kumbaga, hindi na tayo pwedeng umiyak na natapo ng gatas, yung crying over spilled milk. Tapos na yan eh. Okay ka nga eh. Moving forward na tayo. And when you talk about that, Quinito, you're talking about the team already. What do you like about how this kind of team that Chot is constructing? What are the strengths and what do you think are the small areas of improvement pa rin pwede nating magawa?
I think it's important that Scotty Thompson gets some relief at the point guard position. The 16-man pool, by the way, ito na yung ating 16-man pool. Though. These are the only remaining players who are in contention for the final 12-man lineup because wala na dito sina Brownlee, Kwame, Carl Tamayo, Eram, at saka si Jordan Heading. So out of these 16-man pool, will be chosen the 12. In answer to your question, what I like about this team is the balance. Maganda ang depth natin sa front line. We've got Junmar Fajardo, Japet, we've got AJ Edu, and Kai Soto. And those guys can play either in tandem or even individually at the 5 position. Then you've got the point guard position. Scotty Thompson was phenomenal, to say the least, no, in that game against Ivory Coast kagabi. He was a, let me just check, no? He was a plus 19. He was a plus 19 in that game.
Wow.
And it was an amazing performance. Pero nakita ko that when he's sitting down, who will take over at the point guard position?
Sino nga?
Chris Newsom played some point guard, pero parang hindi niya masyadong nadala yung team eh.
Okay.
Kiefer Avena also played some point guard. Hindi din masyadong nadala yung team ni Kiefer, no? Jordan Clarkson will have to play the point guard position in relief, no? Because I would expect him to play his natural position, which is 2. Pero under the circumstances, baka nga ganun na mangyari, no? But you know, let's take a look at this possible first 5 and talking about that, no? Pati yung mga deficiencies natin.
Sige, labas natin yung ano, yan. Okay, let's go. Yan.
Yung possible first 5 natin, this is just my personal opinion. Hindi ito nangyari in that game against Ivory Coast because ang starters natin in that game were Clarkson, and then R.R. Pogoy, Dwight Ramos, Japet Aguilar, at saka si AJ Edu. Hindi nga nag-start doon si Junmar, hindi nag-start si CJ Perez, at hindi nag-start si Scotty Thompson. But this is my possible first 5. I like Soto to start at the center position because Junmar Fajardo will come in off the bench. You remember in 2014 in the FIBA World Cup in Spain, L.A. Tenorio started every game at point guard. But the 2 guys who had the majority of the minutes at the point guard position were Jimmy Alapag and Jason Castro. That is the kind of role that I see with Soto. No? He can start, he's 7'3", nobody will be taller than him. And then Junmar Fajardo, who by the way, looks excellent. The way his physique is, the way he's moving around. Super ang ganda ng nilalaro ngayon.
Saka nakikita ko, ang bilis niya tumakbo ngayon. Ha? He's really picking up the speed.
Yung ano, what you like about Junmar is that when there is a pick and roll action, he's able to switch quickly. Also, he's able to close out on the big men shooters. And alam natin in the international game, yung mga big men titira sa labas yan.
Okay,
Then
let's speculate. Let's speculate. Kasi ito yung possible first 5 mo. Kanina nakita natin yung 16-man pool. Ilabas nga natin yung 16-man pool na yan. Kasi I want Quinito to do a little of speculation here. Who is going to be a lock sa ating final 12 na i-anunsyo pa sa August 23? Ako, my position is already to announce it, but again, they have made a decision. Who is a lock sa last 16? Who will remain as a cut? Sino matatanggal at sino yung maaaring bubble sa tingin natin na maaaring pumasok doon sa final 3? Tingnan nga na final lineup. Tingnan natin nga, Santi, if we can put that here. But Quinito, ikaw, who do you think are the lock right now sa lineup?
Okay, I would call them the shoe-ins.
Okay.
Jordan Clarkson, of course, hindi natin papalitan yan. Kai Soto, Junmar Fajardo, Japet Aguilar, Dwight Ramos, AJ Edu, Jamie Malonzo, Bobby Ray Parks. I like Chris Newsom because ito yung 16-man pool natin. Yung mga natanggal, of course, si Brownlee, Kwame, Tamayo, Teraman, si Heading. So,
yan.
The guys in the bubble, sa akin, there are yung pagpipilian because I have 10 guys who are shoe-ins. Yung pagpipilian natin...
Sino yung tanggal mo na? Sa tingin mo, sino tanggal na?
Well, mahirap sabihin, Noli, because these tune-ups will give us an idea who are the best fit and what positions we should be.
So you think that they're all in the running at this point?
They're all in the running,
all right.
definitely.
Okay.
Now, kahapon against Ivory Coast, hindi naglaro 30 Ravenna, si Oftana, at saka si Bobby Ray Parks. And that's because niro-rotate lang ni Coach Shot. I think those guys are going to be playing against Montenegro bukas. And they will also be probably playing against Mexico. So, the 5 guys, I feel, the 5 guys who are in the bubble, so to speak, out of these 5 guys, 2 will make it. Kiefer Ravenna, 30 Ravenna, Bobby Ray Parks, Calvin Oftana, Abando, and Pogoy. Out of those 6 guys, I feel 2 will make it. Kasi 10 lang ang aking shoe-in .
Okay.
So, now, the idea here of Coach Shot is not to put one player against the other. It doesn't work that way. I think it's important to see from a coaching standpoint, anong position natin na kailangan natin pagtibayin.
All right.
We need to be deeper at the point guard position. So we have to look at that position and get the people who are fit to play the point guard position. If that is where we're shallow. So ganun ang dapat ang consideration.
At this point, Kinitz, you think that as outside of the point guard position, we have enough shooters in your shoe-ins, ika nga, and we don't need additional shooters anymore? Anong analysis mo dyan, Kinitz?
I think so. I think we've got good shooters in Dwight Ramos, CJ Perez. I feel that Jamie Malonzo is also an excellent shooter. Now, we need certainly more ammunition. So out of those 6 guys, dun tayo pipili. The guy who was very impressive, na medyo nagulat ako in the game against Ivory Coast, was Renz Abando. He came in the 4th quarter. Immediately, there was an alley-oop play. Alley-oop play between Jamie Malonzo at saka si Renz Abando. And katabi ko si Raiko Toroman watching the game.
Ang dumakdak si Renz Abando?
Yes, si Renz Abando dumakdak. Grabe yung kanyang lundag and the way he ducked that ball with authority. And on the next play, tumira ng 3-pointer. Now, that kind of heart and that kind of confidence, bihira yan. So, initially, in my first 12, hindi ko pinasok si Abando . So now I'm having a rethinking. Also because a lot of fans have been saying, ba't hindi si Abando? Doon ko nakita kahapon in that game against Ivory Coast. Super player pala ito .
Yes,
and he can
yes.
hold his own in the international game.
Yes.
So, ewan ko lang, I don't want to pit one over the other because I think the consideration is kung saan tayo kailangan mag-strengthen, mag-deepen.
Pero ika nga, sabi nga ni Coach Chot, this is gonna be the most difficult part of, I guess, of the process going into the World Cup. Just making that cut. And at this point, hindi naman siguro ang ibig sabihin nito, we're pitting one against the other. It's just really That we have to make a choice. And I agree with you, Quinito. I think Renz Abando should make the final 12. I have placed him in my lineup. I think Renz should be there, and I think his shooting is going to be very valuable. And at the end of the day, it will be role players. Hindi naman kailangan dyan nakababad. It will be moments na kailangan ka of brilliance, and that's where Chot will have to make some plugins. So I guess it's down to a couple of slots there, Quinito. Maybe if I'm going to be medyo brutally frank, baka tanggal na siguro si 30, tanggal na siguro si Oftana from this lineup sa akin. And it's down to maybe just a couple of names na lang left.
I think so, no? Again, yung aking shoe-ins, no? Clarkson, Soto, Fajardo, Aguilar, Ramos, Perez, Newsome, Edu, Malonza, tsaka Thompson. Those are my 10 shoe-ins, no? And the reason why I'm picking Newsome, remember he didn't score against Ivory Coast, is because he can play the point guard position.
Correct.
At matatag siya sa depensa. May shooting din. Perez, because he's an excellent slasher, I think he showed it in that game against the Ivory Coast, no? He can penetrate, he can hit the outside shot. Edu was remarkable because yung ginagawa ni Coach Chot, ang ganda very unpredictable. There was a time when he was playing Soto and Fajardo together. And you would think, sandali, these guys are both 5 players, but he was playing them together.
Wow.
We were excellent close to the basket, particularly protecting the rim.
We've had tune-up games from Europe to China, and now dito sa Manila Friendlies. Anong nakita mong marked difference sa team now?
I think now, of course, si Clarkson is now playing because in the European trip at saka yung China trip, hindi nakalaro si Clarkson. Ganun din si Kai Soto. Now, the dynamics of the team, very different because with Clarkson there, you can feel that the guys are highly energized. Ang feeling nila, nandito ng NBA player that he's not the savior. Neither is Kai Soto. But they are certainly giving us a big lift.
That's a good point.
In terms of depth, in terms of quality of play. And I thought si Clarkson played a little bit dandy kahapon because in the first quarter, he already exploded with 13 points. He hit 3 straight threes. Tapos yung second quarter, he started to fool around, making no-look passes, hindi naman nasasalo, ganon. I think he was just getting in the mood and getting his teammates involved. I don't think he wants to be the main focal point all the time. Of course, he will have to be, no? Pero I don't think he wants to control the ball 80% of the time.
And that's why
60% of the time lang.
And that's why you really need good players around him kasi sa kanya ang depensa But if he starts making those passes and there will be open looks for our players, they will have to convert. Now,
yes, and he has to trust his teammates, no?
Correct.
Now, the big plus here is that Clarkson has played with many of these players. The only players whom he hasn't played with in the national team before are Junmar Fajardo, si Jay Perez, si Abando, AJ Edu, and Pogoy. Those are the only 5 players whom he has not played with. So the others, medyo meron ng level of confidence, level of trust.
Let me talk about the group games, Quinito, because yan ang importante. As you said, our goal here is to be the best Asian team, Asian place team to make it to the Paris Olympics. We have 3 teams nasa harapan natin, Dominican Republic, Angola, and Italy. For the benefit of our viewers, how many games do we need to be able to move on to the next round, Quinito? And what is the format going to be?
Okay, here's a very tricky question that you posed, Noli, because even if you win only once in the group stage, we will be playing only 3 games, okay? Assuming that Italy will sweep. Italy was 5th place in the last Tokyo Olympics, and they're highly rated. The way they're playing so far in the friendlies, they are undefeated. And in their cut for the final 12, kinat nila yung isang NBA player nila, si Nico Banyon of the Golden State Warriors. That's how deep they are. Yeah. So I would say Italy will sweep our group. Meaning to say it's going to be a fight for second place among Angola, Dominican Republic, and the Philippines. Only 2 out of our group will advance to the second round. So, yung mawawala, the last 2, okay, you take a look at our group A, no? So, 2 sa mga teams dato will go to the second round and 2 will go down to the consolations for number 17 to number 32.
Yan ang ating yan ang mga groupings, yan.
Yes. What we're hoping is that we go to the second round. So, if it's Italy, we're hoping that the Philippines also makes it. Now, If we win only one game, whichever it is, against Angola or Dominican Republic, there's a possibility of a three-way tie for second place. Angola and Dominican Republic might also finish at 1-2. So quotient system is very important.
Okay.
Whatever game that we win, we need to make tambak yung kalaban. Dapat tambakan natin.
So,
it cannot be just 1 or 2 points. Let's kill them to the ground and get as many get as big a margin as possible.
Well, in the second round, assuming that we move on to the second phase, ang makakatapat natin yung Group B. Ganun ba yun, Quinito?
That's right. Yung Group B ang makakatapat natin, which means if China makes it to the second round, baka makatapat natin ang China.
And that will be parang championship natin for the Olympics.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the highest placed Asian finisher will go to the Olympics. So China and the Philippines, we've got the graphic to show you of yung mga teams that are posibleng pumasok sa Olympics among the Asian countries.
Yung Asian countries nga yung rankings. Yung rankings, Mike, can we put it there? Again, because mga kapatid, ang ating hinahabol dito is to be the best placed Asian team for our Olympics. Kasi alam naman natin, suntok sa buwan, yung manalo ng World Cup. Pero ito pong pagpasok sa Olympics na hindi pa natin nagagawa in so long ang ating pong minimiti. Kaya, again, we have only five Asian countries, Quinito?
There are 6.
6 countries.
There are 6 Asian countries. And
can we
Lebanon
put that also?
is another country, the only country that's ranked lower than us.
Number
1 Asian ranked team is Iran at number 22. Tapos nandun ang China. Ayan, ito. Okay, number 22 Iran, and then China, Jordan, Japan, Philippines, and then Lebanon. Those are the 6 Asian countries aspiring to make it to the Paris Olympics. So only one of those teams will make it. The highest placed Asian finisher papasok sa Paris Olympics.
And of course, we're hoping that we will be that team. And if you look at the groupings kasi, Quinito, I think we have a great chance. Of course, China also has a relatively favorable group para sa kanila. We saw kanina yung grouping. So again, hindi lahat ng ating kapalaran ay nasa ating kamay, no? It will again our fate rests on the results of the other groups, no? So
talking about our group, Noli, Dominican Republic, Angola, and Italy. First yung Dominican Republic. Akala ko, mukhang hindi masyadong maganda ang performance ng Dominican Republic sa mga tune-ups. Talo sila ng Puerto Rico, talo sila ng Latvia, pero hindi naglaro si Karl Anthony Towns. A few hours ago, Karl Anthony Towns played for the Dominican Republic and they beat, guess what, Canada. A team that's loaded with NBA players.
Right.
Nandyan si Barrett, nandyan si Gilgeous Alexander. Wala nga si Jabal Murray, but nandun si Dort, nandun si
Dillon Brooks,
the villain. And they beat Canada 94-88 in Granada, Spain. And guess what? Our assistant coach, Tim Cohn, was in the stands to watch that game. Yes, he flew all the way to Spain to scout the Dominican Republic in this pocket tournament sa Granada, Spain.
So I guess, well, as we take a look at the power rankings here, Quinito, before we discuss this, I want to ask you, realistically, do you think that we have a chance to beat Dominican Republic? Because I think that may be the biggest thorn para sa atin in our group.
Dominican Republic has 4 NBA players now, including Karl Anthony Towns, who's only 27 years old. This guy has earned $150 million in his 8-year NBA career. This guy is a super solid player. He's a career 39% three-point shooter. So he likes to take the outside shot. He's a great inside post player. He jumps not so high, just like Jokic, but he's not as good a passer as Jokic, but he's a tremendous offensive player. But you know, I remember in 1974, dun sinasabi ni Ramon Fernandez and Francis Arnaiz, when we played Australia, Edu Palubinskas, who was the Australian top gun, scored 39 points against the Philippines. The Philippines won, 101-100. If Karl Anthony Towns gets his 39 points, and we limit his mga kakampi, baka manalo tayo. You'll never know. It's all about strategy.
Well, we're really hoping for that. All right, Quinito, I have a few minutes here. We're showing you the power rankings ng FIBA. Ito mismo galing sa FIBA. And of course, Team USA is still up there with France, number 2, Australia, Slovenia, Germany, and Spain, and the rest of the power rankings. Do you agree dito sa power rankings? Let's talk the big picture now para sa FIBA World Cup.
Not 100%. I would agree that the USA should be number one, not because of their players, but because of their team concept. I think Coach Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra, and of course Chip Engeland, Mark Few, those are the coaches ng US team. They chose players who are not necessarily household names, who are not necessarily superstars, but they chose players who can play the team game, the team concept. And you remember the last FIBA World Cup, US fell to 7th place. That's the lowest ranking of the US in major international competition since the NBA entered the international scene in 1992. So they want to be able to improve on that 7th place finish.
Right.
I think they have the materials to do it. They've got Jaren Jackson, who's a tremendous defensive player. Anthony Edwards, there's Brunson, there's Austin Reeves, who's an excellent outside shooter, Halliburton. So I think that team concept that idadala o dadalhin ni Steve Kerr, I think that's going to mean a gold medal for the US.
All right. Well,
France, I also agree it will be number 2. I think they've got veteran players in Nando Dacolo, and then you've got Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert. Those guys are going to be playing. Nicolas Batum. Those are NBA players, and they've got a good coach in Collet to make sure that they will be in that to get a podium finish. Remember, France got the silver medal in the last Olympics. Australia, I don't think will be number 3. I think number 3 is going to be a toss-up. And I feel Slovenia with Doncic and their naturalized player, 7-footer Mike Tobey. Imagine, Slovenian, kumukuha pa din ng naturalized. I think Italy and Canada, those 3 teams will be vying for a bronze medal. Canada, although they lost to the Dominican Republic, I think it's a matter of time before those guys start working hard under their new coach, Jordi Fernandez. And, I think Italy will be very, very tough to beat as well. They've got 7 players who played in the last Tokyo Olympics where Italy got 5th place. And, they have 3 NBA players and a lot of experience behind this team. Only one of them, Luigi Datome, who's an NBA veteran, played in the last World Cup. But as I said, 7 players on the Italian team played on the 5th place Italian squad in the last Tokyo Olympics.
Well, napakarami pong dapat nating abangan sa parating na FIBA World Cup. Kanina kausap ko si David Crocker and he was saying na, obviously hindi lang Gilas Pilipinas ang ating dapat panoorin. When you as a final parting shot here, Kinites, maybe to the fans, who are the players aside of all the many names that you've already mentioned? Sino pa ang dapat nating abangan na siguro dapat panoorin ng ating mga fans na papunta? Bihira itong mangyayari sa ating bansa.
I think yung Gilas team, everybody dapat tutukan natin kung anong kailangan ng Gilas team in terms of support, in terms of dasal, in terms of audience participation. But, Spain has always been a world power. And I like to see the Hernan Gomez brothers, and they will be playing. They're NBA players. I think Greece will be somewhat of a contender, even wala si Giannis. But, before I go, Noli, I just want to be able to say something that I feel must be said.
Okay.
I think FIBA must be responsible in looking at the lineups of every team and find out if there are ringers. And I'm saying this because in the Ivory Coast lineup, I want to be able to say this. It's the first time that this is being said. 4 players were born in the US. 1 player was born in Germany. 4 players were born in France. Only 4 players were born in the Ivory Coast. My question is, with 9 foreign-born players, did they receive their Ivory Coast passports before they were 16? I venture to say, hindi. And the reason why is I looked at when they started playing for the Ivory Coast. They were all past 25 years old. One of them was 29, one of them was 27. So again, what's the standard as far as FIBA is concerned? You want to make sure that all the players are legit? Well, look at the Ivory Coast. Why do they have 9 players who were born overseas? And my guess is none of those got their Ivory Coast documents or travel passports before 16. Let me also tell you that in the Dominican Republic, there are 5 players who were born in the US. All of those 5 players, went to school in the US, I doubt very much if they even played in the Dominican Republic leagues. When did they get their Dominican Republic passports? Who is the naturalized and who is not? So I think if the Philippines is being scrutinized and we're being prejudiced because ayaw nilang i-recognize si Jordan Clarkson as a local, why don't you take a look at the other countries and find out who are their foreign-born players and whether they got their passports before 16, before looking at the Philippines.
Well
Yun ang masasabi ko. And I say this because sabi sa akin ni Coach Raiko Toraman, if Jordan Clarkson were considered a local for the Philippines and we get a naturalized player, a real naturalized player who's maybe like an Andre Blatch of before, of course not Andre Blatch, then we will be competitive. Then we're talking business. Then we're talking knockout quarterfinals for the Philippines. That's all I want.
Hindi lang Jordan Clarkson, Ganis, because ang dami pa nating mga hindi eligible sa FIBA na napakagagaling. Brandon Ganuela's roster, for instance, played so well in the Southeast Asian Games. Ang dami pa niyan.
So right.
So talagang dapat medyo bigyan natin ng konting sampal itong FIBA para magising. Sapagkat tayo ay parang masyado tayong pinaparusahan samantalang yung ibang bansa napaka-lax nila na parang nilang inaakay pa patungo sa knockout stage itong ibang mga koponan.
Totoo yan. Yung Ivory Coast nga, last night in preparing for this show, Noli, I did my research and my eyes opened wide. Sabi ko, paano nangyayari ito? 9 foreign-born players and seriously doubt whether they got their passports of the Ivory Coast before 16. And in my research, only one of them is naturalized.
Right.
Si Patrick Tate, who was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. He played against Gilas last night.
Lagot
So,
kayo.
assuming he's naturalized, what about the 8 others?
Tama. Papatawag kayo ng Dadin sa kanyang opisina para kayo makastigo. Quinito, I'm looking forward to, of course, the games. Looking forward to watching our Gilas Pilipinas. Suportahan po natin ang Gilas Pilipinas. And of course, we're looking forward to all of your narratives and all of your commentaries sa iyong column and of course in the broadcast panel. Maraming salamat for joining us this morning. Again, good luck and we'll see you in the games. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Noli. And thank you to all the Filipino basketball fans.
Mga kaibigan, the Dean, Quinito Henson on Power and Play again. Ang dami po natin na pag-usapan. Pagdasal po natin ang ating kuponan. 6 days to go before the Basketball World Cup of FIBA. Bago po tayo magpatuloy, isa muna pong paalala lamang from Cherry, New Era of Green Mobility Tour. Cherry Auto Philippines takes center stage at SM Mega Mall Fashion Hall from August 18 to 21, officially bringing in the first ever New Era of Green Mobility Tour. Don't let this moment slip by. Explore their innovative vehicle display with their all-new Tigo 5X Pro Hybrid, Tigo 7 Pro Hybrid, and Tigo 8 Pro E Plus plug-in hybrid to complete its green mobility lineup. Buckle up for the thrilling test drives and enjoy exclusive discount offers and get ready to groove to captivating live performances by your beloved bands Itchy Worms and Sun-Kissed Lola. Yes, it's a family-friendly affair. Visit the 4-day event from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. SM Mega Mall Fashion Hall, August 18 hanggang 21 po mula sa Cherry Tigo. Boss Romel, maraming salamat sa aking Cherry Tigo. Alright mga kapatid, at this point, medyo ipasok na po natin ang ating pong bisita, ang ating pagtutok bago tayo magtapos sa isa sa pinakamahusay na accomplishments this year. Pagkapanalo ng Pilipinas sa Junior League Softball World Series dun po sa Washington, D.C., USA. Nanalo po ang kuponan natin sa pamamagitan ng Bago City Softbelles. At ito po ang ating naging panayam sa In the Spotlight.
Power and Play with Noli Eala.
Ang Bago City Softbelles, ang bagong kampiyon ng Junior League World Series dyan po sa softball. Gaya po ng ating nabanggit, kasama na po natin ang Bago City Softbelles, ang bagong hirang na kampiyon ng Junior League Softball World Series, Coach Francis Fuentes at si Erica Arnaiz at ang buong koponan ng Bago City Softbelles. Magandang araw sa inyo. Congratulations sa inyong pagkapanalo, Coach.
Thank you po. Magandang araw din po.
Nakakatuwa at kayo nakarating na pala sa Pilipinas. Unang-una, kamusta ang ang pagtanggap ng Bago City, Coach Francis?
Well, grabe po. Grabe po yung pagtanggap na we're not expect sa pagtanggap po nila is nag-motorcade. Pumunta po kami ng nag-motorcade Bacolod to Bago City po. Tapos yung dito po sa Bago is yung lahat ng mga estudyante, especially sa school nila po, lumabas like mga teacher nag-ready. So and then dito po sa community hall, mainit ang welcome ng mga official staff dito po, especially our Mayor Yuli po. Nandito rin po together with their staff.
Oo. Ang alam ko, Erica, ang alam ko itong Bago City team na nag-represent sa Asia Pacific, na of course nag-represent sa ating bansa, ang Pilipinas. Karamihan sa inyo galing sa Ramon Torres National High. Tama ba, Erica?
Lahat po.
Lahat kayo. Okay, so talagang puro... Isa lang ang hindi. Isa lang ang hindi.
Kasi elementary pa po lang siya.
Okay. So, talagang medyo matagal kayong nawalay sa inyong pamilya. Kamusta ang pakiramdam ngayon, Erica, na nakabalik na kayo at kayo ay champion pa?
Okay lang naman po. Masaya, tsaka exciting.
Alam nyo, siyempre ang napabalita dito sa Maynila, sa Pilipinas, nung kayo ay nagkampiyon na, Coach, no? Again, siguro ito ay hindi masyadong natutukan. Kaya marami nagtatanong paano ba nangyari itong team na ito? Kwento mo nga sa atin, Coach, paano binuo itong team, paano napili, at paano kayo nag-qualify sa World Series?
Yes po, kasi po yung Bago City, the owner ng team na to is yung papa ko. Nag-start po siya ng 1998 sa Bacolod City, and yung school po is Paglaong Village. Nag-champion po tayo 2003. Then nag-stop po siya ng 2005. Then bumalik naman po siya ng Iloilo City. Doon po sa 2011 until 2014, nag-third place din po tayo. Then nag-stop naman po. Nag-start naman ng 2018-17 dito po sa Bago City, but nag-pandemic. So, but the training is continuous. Then 2002, nag-Philippine Series. Pumunta rin po sila ng World Series doon sa Kirkland, Washington. Nag-third place po. Then now, nag-champion po tayo.
So through a qualifying din kayo nakarating sa World Series, Coach. Yun ang sinasabi mo. Ganon din yun, no?
Sa Philippines, same thing po. Sa Philippine Series, kumbaga po
Philippine Series,
maglalaban muna dito po sa buong Pilipinas. Kasi po meron minsan na Asia Pacific, yung tawag doon ASPAC. Like meron pong mga China, Singapore, yung Asia, mag-tournament muna, then qualified na sa World Series kung pag nag-champion ka po.
Erica, gaano kayo katagal nag-training para dito sa World Series?
Almost 1 year po.
Wow! Ano yan? Tuloy-tuloy dyan lang sa Bago City? O kayo ba ay nagpupunta sa Maynila o nagpupunta sa outside of the country? Saan kayo nagtitraining, Erica?
Dito lang po sa sports complex ng Bago.
Ano ang pinakamalaking challenge para sa inyong team, Erica? Yung itong buong 1 year na naghahanda kayo for the World Series, ano ang pinaka-biggest challenge ninyo?
Ang malayo po sa pamilya.
Ang malayo sa pamilya. Pero kayo, mga bata, hindi kayo nahirapan sa training na dinagdaanan ninyo? Walang mga injuries, wala namang naging problema halimbawa sa pondo. May ganun ba, Erica?
Wala naman po.
Alright. Coach, alam natin na napakaganda ng naging performance nyo doon sa Washington, D.C. na halos na-sweep nyo, no? Ang inyong mga laban from the group play all the way to the quarterfinals and the semifinals hanggang sa championship game na kung saan tinalo ninyo ang Milford, Connecticut team, no? Dyan sa Washington. Coach, anong naging susi sa tingin mo dito sa very dominant performance ng Bago City?
Well, susi sa pagpanalo, well, undefeated po tayo. Wala pong talo, 7 straight winning. Then, pero yung Connecticut po is 6 win din sila. Same as na 6 win din. So, kami po yung nag-championship. Well, merong yung pitcher, like sample ko nga, kasi mostly lahat ng interview ganun kung paano daw tayo nanalo. So, sabi nga, yung iba na interview is ano daw yung sikreto. Yung pitcher po natin, kasi supposed to be yung pitcher natin, bago po isa lang sa tournament, isa lang sa World Series. Meron po kasi kaming pitching coach na si Marciano Santa Maria. Siya po yung nag-train nito bago kami pumunta ng World Series sa Amerika. Nag-stay po siya sa Maynila, doon po siya muna tinitrain bago po kami pumunta.
Yung pitcher nyo nag-training sa Manila?
Yes po. From Bacolod.
And you're talking about Erica. Si Erica yan?
Yes po. Siya po, pumunta siya, pinasamahan lang po ng isang catcher. Tinraining siya doon para po preparation for World Series po.
So sa tingin mo, yan ang naging rason, isang sa malaking rason kung bakit naging very dominant at hindi kayo natalo doon sa World Series?
Well, isa pa yon. Isa pa yon kasi kailangan nating pa-conditionin not only Erica, meron din kasing dalawa po yung pitcher natin na pumunta doon. There are different variation po yung pukol nila. Si Erica po, maganda po yung rice ball. Mayroon din po si Aisil Tanaman, yung isang pitcher. Maganda naman po yung down ball niya. So, hindi po natin pwedeng gamitin si Aisil kasi po matatamaan ng Amerikana yung down ball niya. Kasi sanay po sila sa pitching machine.
So, kaya ang ginamit nyo yung estilo, yung specialization ni Erica. Ika nga, Coach. Very, very good. Erica, let me ask you, Erica, no? Marami kayong nakalaban doon sa Amerika. Erica, gaano kalakas itong mga nakalaban ninyo? Ikaw ba, medyo ba kayo na-intimidate o pinahirapan ba kayo kahit paano nitong mga kalaban?
Hindi naman po. Nung una na po, first game, kalaban yung Southeast. Medyo nakabahan po nung una kasi nga po, gawa ng bago ko palang mag-tournament sa World Series, kaya yun, kinabahan kami. Pero nawala na din po. Nawala na.
Kailan nyo naramdaman na kaya nyo na manalo ng championship?
Kasi nakita na po kasi namin yung laro nila.
Parang nung nasukat na ninyo, nakita nyo na yung laro, kayang-kaya na. O parang naramdaman nyo, kaya natin to. Coach, ano bang mindset nyo dyan? Anong naging mindset nyo, Coach, nung nakita mo yung mga kalaban na yan? Right away ba, ano ba ang sinabi mo sa mga players mo?
Well, sabi ko, confidence sa sarili, wag lang po magkumpiyansa, kumbaga, kasi kumbaga sabi nga, kung nagtitraining sila, kumbaga nagtitraining kami, nagtitraining din sila. So, confident lang po sa sarili. Unang-una, siyempre, teamwork and discipline sa mga player po.
Pambihira ang ginawa ni Erica, of course, and the rest of the team, including si Buenafe, no? Si Ana Buenafe, dun sa championship game. Of course, Erica, ikaw, three hitter lamang, walang palitan, no relief. Napagod ka ba? Napagod ka ba? O, hindi ka napagod, ha? Kaya pa lumaban? At kamusta naman ang pagtanggap ng mga Filipino doon, Erica, sa Amerika? Kayo ba nasuportahan kayo mabuti ng mga Pinoy natin, mga kababayan natin, Erica?
Opo. Yung mga Filipino community po nanonood po sa maglaro, tsaka nagsisponsor din po sila ng mga pagkain namin pagkatapos ng laro.
Tumira ba kayo sa mga Filipino, sa mga kababayan natin, o meron kayong sarili ninyong lugar, Coach?
Hindi po. Meron po kaming hotel na tinitirahan. Lahat po ng players nandun.
Oo. Very good. Alright, well, gusto kong tanongin to. Yan po mga kaibigan ang ating pong panayam. Kung gusto niyo po mapanood yung buong, medyo naubusan tayo ng oras, yung buong kwento po ng Bago City Softball Girls Team na nanalo ng Junior League Softball World Series sa Amerika. Congratulations again sa ating bagong World Champions. Gusto niyo mapanood, puntahan niyo po ang ating Facebook page ng Power and Play. Alright, bago tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang i-announce lahat po ng nanalo ng ating mga promotions mula sa Joyride. Unang-una po yung ating Joyride top-up promo, ang mga nanalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits ngayong araw pong ito. Sila Vanessa Serrano, Austin Brian Macaraig, Michael Tilaon, Kim Chandre Obrero, at si Jarwin Habuen o Jabuen. Congratulations, 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits para sa inyong lahat. Yun naman pong nanalo ng Aqua Flask, yung limited edition Joyride Aqua Flask. Last week ito ito po yung nanalo, nagpadala ng kanyang selfie. Si Reggie De Vera, yan, makikita niyo yung kanyang selfie yung sa kasama ng rider. Ikaw ang nanalo ng Joyride Aqua Flask mula sa Joyride. Congratulations. Again, yung pong mga gusto sumali this week, ilagay nyo lamang yung hashtag Joyride Power and Play for the hashtag this week. Selfie, padala nyo po sa Power and Play pag kayo nag-book ng inyo pong MC Taxi or Joyride car ngayong linggo pong ito. And finally, ang ating pong Pulso ng Bayan mula sa M2 Tea Drink with Malunggay, Okra, and Luya. Ang mga nanalo po ng mga M2 Tea Drinks. Unang-una, si Noriel Rebultan. Ang sabi niya, expectation para sa Gilas is to at least win one game sa group stage and not to have another winless campaign, for us to at least have a chance to qualify for the one thing that is eluding us, and that is the Olympic Games. Ang ganda, no? Mula, yung pangalawa po nating winner, mula rin sa Facebook natin, si Monet Lopez Nepomuceno. Sabi niya, no expectations but hoping for the best. Still cheering for our Gilas team no matter what. And finally, from our Twitter account, mula naman mula kay Jasper Ejercito. Sabi niya, expectation is two wins with it's our third straight World Cup appearance. Dapat nag-improve at hindi pa urong, unforgiving defense then which will be our main weapon. Tenacity and proper adjustments in every possession. Congratulations sa inyong tatlo. Mananalo kayo ng M2 Tea Drinks with Malunggay, Okra, and Luya. Drink your gulay mula sa Nature Earth, ang makers ng M2 Tea Drinks. Alright mga kapatid, and that'll do it for us this morning. Again, 6 days to go. Mag-ready na kayo para sa FIBA World Cup. Magkita ulit tayo next week mga kapatid. And of course, lagi nating sinasabi tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit. At sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH Teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Susunod na po ang inay ko po. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play!
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulot, Sumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Manila. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino.